afternoon everybody, and thank you for joining me on my first ever YouTube video. My name is Dave and I'm out today on my trusty old 2009 Triumph Tiger 1050. It's not the sport one, it's the original one before the sport was released. 16 years old now, knocking on a bit, 30,000 miles, but does everything I could possibly want it to do, pretty much. And I originally bought this bike in 2020 during lockdown. I had a Honda Blackbird at the time and I wanted more of a sit-up kind of bike, fancied an adventure style bike. Saw this on Auto Trader and snapped it up. Had it for about a year-ish. For some unknown reason, I still don't really know why, I decided to sell it. Sold it and off it went. Then realised I missed that adventure style riding position and bought myself an old Aprilia Capenord, the 1000cc Capenord. Had that for about 18 months and went up on a trip up north with a mate of mine. He was doing the North Coast 500, so I said I'd join him for the first couple of days. So we rode across the Yorkshire Moors, had a lovely day riding, stayed over at a Premier Inn in Sunderland or Middlesbrough, I can't remember which one it was. And woke up the next day, 7 o'clock the next morning, and my bike was gone. All that was left was an empty space between the white lines and a smashed disc lock. The Capenord was no more, gone. And unbelievably, 2 hours later they came back from my friend's Tiger 1050 Sport. They came back and tried to nick his bike as well. It was absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, the Capenord was gone. I got a 120 quid train home, about 5 or 6 hours on the train. And that evening, feeling a bit sorry for myself, was looking on Auto Trader at a replacement and spotted the exact bike that I'd sold, the exact same Triumph Tiger 1050 that I'm sitting on now, that I had sold 18 months previous and regretted selling it. Not a similar looking bike, the exact same bike. So the next morning I rang the dealers, I think it was in Leicester, somewhere along those lines. Rang the dealers and said, I'll have that. I know the history of it, I used to own it, it's a great bike, I'll have that off you please. Came to a deal and a few days later it was delivered to my house, so I've had it since. That was about a year ago that happened. I got the Aprilia nicked about a year ago and bought this. Within a week I had this delivered, and this is my only bike at the minute because I sold the Blackbird a while ago, and so this is my one bike at the moment. And are you like me, on a Friday night when you've had a few beers, you're sat in the house, sort of, you know, a bit worse for wear, and you're looking at eBay and you're looking at Facebook Marketplace and you're looking at Bike Trader and all the other places, and you're thinking, maybe I should buy a new bike, you know, maybe get something a bit more modern. Like I said, this is 16 years old, and you think maybe I should get something a bit more modern, something more up to date. Do I need more gadgets and electronics, and do I really need that? So because the beer's floating around your system, you convince yourself it's a good idea, so you have a look. But in the cold light of day I always reconsider, and whenever I jump on this bike I think, well, what on earth, why would I consider buying a new bike? What would a new bike give me that this doesn't, except a newer registration plate at the back, so the snob that's deep inside of all of us somewhere, you know, can show off a bit that they've got a newer bike. But other than that, do I need to replace it? And the answer obviously is no, isn't it? I paid £3,500 for it. It's got 29,000 miles on it with full history. When I bought it for the second time last year, it had the valve clearances done, full service, etc. So in theory it should be good for a long time. And it's quick enough, it's powerful enough. These are about 115, 116 horsepower, so there's plenty of go in it. It's comfortable, it's reliable. I think it looks great. I'll show you, I'll give you a little walk around it in a bit. We'll stop and pull over and have a little nosy around it. And what else do you need from a bike at the end of the day, other than something that's fun to ride, comfortable, looks in really smart, nice, presentable condition, and whenever you push the starter button it turns over and you can go out on it? There's not much more than you need than that, is there? Unless A, you've got bags and bags of money and it's just of no consequence to you and you want to spend it, so good for you, if that's you, brilliant, crack on. Or or you're going on adventures around the world, or you have a specific need for a specific bike, that's fine. That's entirely up to you. And if people didn't buy bikes all the time, the whole industry would grind to a halt, wouldn't it? So good on you if you're buying a new bike and keeping the industry going. Good on you. For me, I just couldn't justify spending 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand on a bike. That when I go on it and ride it, it does pretty much exactly the same as this. It's difficult to justify that. Well, that's just me. So I'll let you have a little look round in a bit, and you can tell me what you think of it. What I will say is, I went to ABR Festival last year, first time I've been, and it got so much attention. We camped quite away from the main sort of stalls and exhibitions and stands and stages, and my little bright orange Tiger 1050's parked up with its full luggage on, and the number of people, there was at least 5 or 6 people over the course of the weekend that came over to have a chat about it and ask about it and say how much they loved it and how it looked in great condition. And that's really nice, isn't it? And, I'm not a vain person. I'm certainly not a show off. I mean, I wouldn't be riding a 16-year-old bike if it was interested in vanity and showing off, would I? But it's so nice when people come home and say, oh, it's a really nice bike, that. How long have you had it? How do you keep it in such good condition? What's it like to ride? You don't see many of them. All those types of chaps are brilliant. And it's always blokes of a certain age, and it's always blokes probably around my age. I'm 50, how old am I? I'm 52, 53 soon. It's always blokes in that sort of 40s to 50s to 60s ranges who maybe have a bit more of an appreciation for the slightly older stuff, cars, bikes, anything really. Maybe it triggers some kind of nostalgia, maybe they owned one in the past, or the friends owned one, or And I just feel those newer bikes, although they are unquestionably technically better than this, a brand new Triumph Tiger, the big Tigers, will be better than this in every measurable way. There's no doubt about that. But part of me thinks they're a little bit soulless, a little bit, not bland, but they're mainly exercises in technology for me. It's all about one-upmanship, isn't it, on the technology side of things, and how many gadgets you can cram on a bike and how much horsepower it can produce, and I'm not really into all of that. That doesn't really do it for me. I like the simple pleasure of jumping on this bike, knowing it didn't cost me a lot of money, knowing I don't owe any money on it, knowing it's dead cheap to run and cheap to insure and easy to maintain, and you can do a lot of jobs yourself when they need doing. And when you jump on it, it's fun and it does everything you want to. I just think, I think that's enough. I think that's enough for me. I'd be interested to hear do you think the same, or do you love buying a new bike every couple of years? Do you go from one PCP deal to another and enjoy every minute of it, and you love that feeling of a brand new bike with the latest bits on it, the latest technology, the latest style, the latest number plate? Each to their own, isn't it? What's happening down here? Oh, I'll tell you what's happening down here. It's VE Day, isn't it? It's VE Day today. So this is the first Sunday in May today. It's May Bank Holiday weekend. It's Sunday afternoon, early afternoon, and it's VE Day, hence the bunting and the flags. And so this little place we're going through now, I live in a town called St Helens, up in the northwest, halfway between Liverpool and Manchester, and this is a little area of St Helens called Newton. This is Newton High Street. It's really good for boozing, actually. Some cracking pubs along here, brilliant. So obviously they've arranged a little bit of a shindig today. Isn't that brilliant? Nothing wrong with that, is there? No, oh, look at this. This looks great. Yeah, got all these people having a fantastic time. Oh, there's a brass band there. And people enjoying a few pints. Absolutely brilliant. Good on them. What a cracking thing to see. You don't see it much these days. There's not, I don't want to get all political, but there's not a great deal of community anymore, is there? In a lot of places anyway. In some I'm sure there is, especially sort of smaller villages and But in towns like St Helens, industrial towns like St Helens, I'm not sure there's a lot of evidence of community anymore. So it's brilliant to see, isn't it? So many people out and about and enjoying each other's company, enjoying a pint, waving the flags and celebrating an important day in history. It's cracking, isn't it? So it's a great little town, that Newton, great little high street. And I sort of wish I was having a pint there now. But anyway, I'm not having a pint, I'm enjoying this ride out. And it's a great day for it. So I got into biking, as I say, I'm in my early 50s now. I've been motorcycling for maybe 25 years, a year or two more maybe, I can't remember exactly. And I got into it because a friend of mine, he bought a Honda NSR 125, a little 125 sports bike, many years ago, and passed his test, and bought a Yamaha Virago. So this NSR was sort of just floating around, so we decided collectively it'd be a great idea, and this is what you do when you're young and stupid, isn't it? We thought it'd be a brilliant idea for me to go out for ride outs with him. He'd be on his Virago, I'd be on the NSR 125. Now, at the time, I had no licence, I hadn't even done a CBT. I had no insurance. The bike probably had an MOT, I would think, but that was the only bit that was compliant. Everything else was highly illegal. Now, I'm not condoning that kind of behaviour. You wouldn't dream of doing it now, would you? But when you're young and you're a bit stupid, they're the kind of daft things you do. So we used to go everywhere. We've been all over the place. He'd be on his Virago, I'd be behind, revving the nuts off this Honda NSR 125 with about, I don't know, 9 horsepower. And we had some great little adventures on it, and that was how I got into biking. And then he worked in the holidays. His dad was a builder, and he worked in the holidays helping his dad out doing a bit of labouring and things. And one site they were working on, one customer had an old, I think it was a DT 125, some kind of 125 dirt bike anyway. He had that in his garage, and my friend showed an interest in it, and the guy said, well, you can have it, it's no use to me, it's been sat there, there's bits missing off it, there's bits of trim lying around here, there and everywhere. I'm not sure if it runs, tyres are flat, oil could be anything in it, chain is rusty, but if you want it you can have it for nothing. So we did, and we had this idea that us being, genius engineers and mechanics, we would restore and renovate this DT125 to its former glory, and we'd go out on our little illegal ride outs on that instead. And when I say renovate, what I mean was we put some oil on the chain, pumped the tyres up, and clipped in or glued in the bits of trim that were on the garage floor. So after about 3 hours, the renovation was complete, we thought. We're very pleased with ourselves. We decided to go on our first little illegal ride about. Again, not condoning this, not saying anyone should do this, not something I'm proud of, but we decided to go on a little illegal ride out on it. And after about 10 miles, 15 miles, this 125 completely seized. The back, I was riding it doing about 45-50 miles an hour down a bypass, but the back wheel completely locked up, left a whole load of tarmac on the road. I thought I was going to go into a ditch and die, and it skidded to a halt for about 50 miles an hour. And what we subsequently discovered was that because it was a two-stroke, you have to put oil in, you have to mix petrol with the oil now. With our very, very limited expertise and our mechanical skills limited to rubbing oil on a chain and screwing in or gluing in 3 or 4 bits of trim, we didn't realise you had to put oil in and mix oil with the petrol. So it had essentially just run dry of oil and completely seized the whole engine. That was the end of the 125. So we'd spent a few hours putting it back together and about 30 minutes riding it, and it gave up the ghost completely. So again, us being responsible, upstanding members of the community with no licence or insurance, we thought, well, the best way to deal with this is just to push it down a hill at the side of the road. So that's precisely what we did. Pushed it down a hill at the side of the road into some bushes. I jumped on the back of my mate's Virago and off we went into the distance. And it was at that point I thought, enough's enough. It's probably time, if I'm going to continue to ride motorbikes, it's probably time for me to get some lessons. So that's what I did. Did the CBT, did the lessons, passed the test and bought, as a lot of people do, and did at that time, 600 Bandits was the first purchase. Had that for a couple of years probably. As a lot of people do, you sort of outgrow it, don't you? You kind of, especially when you're younger, you want a bit more power, you want a bit more credibility, I don't know. I traded that in up in Blackpool, the old File Superbikes, if anyone remembers that. Maybe it's still around, I've no idea. But I traded that bandit in for a Yamaha Thunder Race. Oh, what a bike. Red and silver, 1000cc, X-up engine, the forerunner to the R1 really. And I was the dog's danglies on that. I thought I was the king of the ring on that. Really quick bike, but also pretty comfortable. Decent riding position, didn't feel too cramped. It was a great bike, and I had that for a couple of years, and then on a ride out with another mate of mine, different mate, I ran it into the back of a Vauxhall Amiga whilst not paying attention. We've been out all day acting like hooligans around Wales, as you do in your early days, and about half a mile from my house, outside of Lucker's garage, a Vauxhall garage in St Helens, a technician was out taking a customer's shiny Vauxhall Amiga out for a test drive after servicing it. He stopped to pull into the Lucker's garage. I didn't notice him particularly, and before I knew it, I ploughed into the back of it. Not going particularly quickly, maybe 25-30 miles an hour, but enough to completely write off the Thunder Race and leave me with a cataract. That was interesting. A few years later, I went to Specsavers to get my eyes tested, did one of those fancy back of the eye tests, and said, oh, you got a trauma cataract. Have you ever banged your head seriously in the past? I said, not really, no, I played rugby when I was younger, but I don't remember banging. But oh, hang on, yeah, I smashed my head into the back of a Vauxhall Amiga. And she said, yeah, that'll do it, that's the one. So yeah, I got a nice, she said it was very pretty though, she said it was a star-shaped cataract, so you know, a nice little fond memory I have of it. So the Thunder Race had to go because it was written off, and since then I've had all kinds of bikes over the last 20 years, all sorts of bikes of pretty much every model, of every style, all kinds of stuff. And now I've landed, for now at least, certainly, on this trusty old Triumph Tiger 1050. So that's my biking story, and I'm not really making these videos. This might be the only video I ever make. I may never even put it on YouTube, but I'm not making these videos to, you know, to have a popular YouTube channel or any of that stuff. I'm not going to say like and subscribe and all that. You do what you want to, turn it off halfway through, it's up to you. The more for me really, I would like to keep a bit of a record of the rides that I go on, and it'd be nice for my lads to look back on them maybe in years to come when I'm either in a chair in a home dribbling and having Sunday dinner spoon fed to me, or I'm dead. It'd be nice for my lads to have a little bit of a record of things that I used to do and things that I used to say and opinions I used to have and experiences I've had. I thought it'd be nice for them to look at that. So that's my only real reason for doing it. If you want to watch it, then brilliant, that's fantastic, that'd be great. But it's really just a bit of fun. And I'm out anyway, I'm out riding, so why not record it? And if some pilot pulls out in front of me, or I smash into the back of a classic Vauxhall Amiga, at least I'll have a record of it for the insurance company, so that's something as well, isn't it? So I'm coming towards the end of my little spin out today. It's only a quick half hour out today, just to make the most of the weather. It's bank holiday weekend, as I said, so my plan is to get back in the garden and have a few tins of Guinness maybe, put the bike away and have a few slurps. That's the plan. And I'd be interested to know, you know, what you're doing this weekend. Are you on an amazing tour somewhere? I came back last week, not last week actually, on Wednesday. I came back on Wednesday this week from 5 days in Portugal. So me and two mates, we did the same trip last year. We flew from Manchester to Lisbon Airport, quick taxi across Lisbon, and went to a place called LX Rent in the centre of Lisbon. We picked up two Yamaha Tracer 7s and a Honda NC750X, and we were off. We are lucky enough to have to know a town called San Martino really well. We had a family apartment there for many years, so it's about an hour north of Lisbon. We jumped on the 3 hired bikes, rode up San Martino, spent 5 days around there exploring the Portugal's Silver Coast, its Atlantic coast. So I'm very fortunate to have done that last week. And this is what I mean about buying a new bike. If you can afford it, brilliant. But if it's a choice between buying a shiny new bike for a couple of £100 a month, or putting that money towards trips and adventures, weekends away, holidays, then for me, I think I err on the side of the latter. You know, I want to spend more time on the bike rather than spend more time working to pay for the bike. Well, that's just me. So yeah, we had 5 brilliant days in Portugal. We've got the ABR festival, end of June that is, isn't it? And we've got 5 days planned on the D-Day beaches, first weekend in September. And I've done that a few times on the bike and in the car, and took the kids there. If you've not been to the Normandy coast and you've not seen the history of the D-Day landings, my word, you have to book that. It is just an amazing place to go if you like that kind of thing, if you like history, especially World War II history. It's just a great, amazing place to go. I've been 4 or 5 times, I've loved it every time. So there's a group of 5 of us going. I only know one of the lads, and the rest of the lads are sort of his friends, his workmates. But I think we're all going to the ABR festival together before then, so we'll get to know each other that way. So I'm sure there'll be a cracking bunch of lads. And we'll be on bikes on tour, so you know, whatever happens, it's going to be brilliant, isn't it? So here she is, 2009 Tiger 1050, not the sport version. This is the first generation, the non-sport. So for 16 years old and 30,000 miles, she's not half bad. She's not in too bad a condition. I do tend to look after bikes as much as I can, keep them clean, look after them, service them well. And as you can see, it's a great little bike, worth £3,500 of anybody's money, isn't it? So why would you go and spend 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand on a bike that does probably the same as this and just a little bit more, but not much? Is it worth spending thousands and thousands of pounds on a replacement? You tell me. So it has the SW Motec tank bag. I have the Aochi screen on there. The top box does have side cases as well. It's original can, I've just put that back on. I did have a Delkovich on there, but that is just too noisy. Maybe I'm just an old fart, but it's just too noisy for me. So yeah, she's a little cracker. A trial video today to see how these videos come out, to see if I want to make some more and maybe record more of my little adventures. I recorded a lot of my Portugal trip, so I'll see what I want to do with that footage, but I thought I'd make a quick little video today just to say hello, just to upload something to the YouTube channel. If you found it interesting, then by all means leave a comment. If you think it's rubbish, if you think I'm talking absolute garbage, then I don't really care. Leave a comment for that as well, that'd be fun. If my editing's pants, you know, if it's rubbish, tell me that. Give me some pointers, tell me what I'm doing wrong. If I can make better quality videos that are nicer to look back on in years to come, then I'd love that. So yeah, give me some feedback if you want in the comments, that's up to you. And other than that, I will sign off. Whatever you're doing today, have a great day, have a great bank holiday. Hopefully you've done some riding. Be safe on the roads, enjoy yourself, and ta-ra for now. Cheers.